Hello and welcome back to another lesson. Really excited about this one because now we've talked to you about your why. We've talked to you about who you are, who you're going to be. We've talked about that. Now we can start getting in to the Shibboleth lifestyle, okay? So we don't want to complicate this thing. Let's think about this. You may have a lot of weight that you want to lose. You're not going to lose it all in a day. And that can discourage some people because they're looking out into the future and they're thinking it's going to take forever to lose this weight. Well, first of all, you're not going to be going through a painful process. There's a reason that many people call Shibboleth the most fun weight loss. And anytime you're having fun, well, time goes by quick. And the time is going to pass whether you do this or not. So why not do something fun? Why not do something that's really enjoyable, practical, sustainable, and fun, and lose the weight? Taking one day at a time. This is how my whole lifestyle started, okay? I went to the doctor. I got a bad report from my doctor. Doctor had me get on a stress test, told me, Travis, at 30 years of age, you got the cardiovascular health of a 60-year-old man. You have got to do something about this. You can't keep going like this or you're never going to see your children grow up. And I was so frustrated that day. I had tried everything. But you know what? I made the decision that day to take matters into my own hands, to use some very powerful nutritional information to change my life. But I knew it was going to take more than just the foods that I was consuming. I knew that it was going to take a new lifestyle. I knew that I was going to have to change how I thought about food and how I thought about myself. And I began that day. And one of the things that I did was open up my Bible, and it opened up to a passage in the Bible that said, I wish thou were cold or hot, but thou art lukewarm, therefore I spew thee out of my mouth. Now, I had some background in this, so I realized the Lord is trying to speak to me through that passage about the type of lifestyle that I needed to live as it related to myself from a physiological standpoint. And it all connected for me that day. And I said that day forward, each day, I'm not going to look too far out in the future. I got a long way to go, and that's discouraging. But each day, I'm going to live this lifestyle. If I put something in my mouth, I'm going to know not only what I'm putting in my mouth, but how it breaks down inside of my body. And if it doesn't offer up the right situation inside of me, if it doesn't help me optimize my hormones, if it doesn't help me get in EFB, by the way, that stands for efficient fat burning mode. That's what we're all striving for, is efficient fat burning mode. If it doesn't help me do that, then I'm not going to consume it. I looked at it like I was being birthed anew, and I was not going to put anything in my mouth if I didn't understand what it was. For years, 30 years to be exact, I had put things in my mouth and in my body that I didn't know how it broke down. I just knew it tastes good. So from that day forward, I said, I'm going to eat stuff that tastes good, but I'm only going to eat it if it breaks down in my body in such a way that it helps me reach my goals. So I said, I'm going to take one day at a time, and I'm going to have what we now call perfect days, or what we now call holidays. Notice that a holiday has no negative connotations to it. That's a good thing. A holiday, once we get into that, a holiday is just as much a part of our lifestyle as a perfect day. And when I say that we're going to have perfect days, I don't mean that you're perfect. I don't mean that you have to be perfect. I mean, based upon how our body works from a circadian rhythm standpoint and how we efficiently burn body fat and preserve muscle and digest food. So a perfect day doesn't mean that I have to be perfect. It doesn't mean that I'm perfect. It actually means that I'm mature. It actually means that I've got a mature view on this thing that I'm trying to accomplish, right? I know that I can't eat what I want, when I want, as much as I want, and as often as I want anymore and be successful. So I set up what I call a perfect day, and I set up myself some boundaries. I call it the bulletproof shield. The bulletproof shield keeps me safe. The bulletproof shield keeps me safe by the day, by the week, by the month, by the year, if I live the Bulletproof Shield. And it all starts with defining what our perfect day is going to be. And that perfect day is going to accomplish these three things every time. There's no guesswork to it. If I follow the Bulletproof Shield, the perfect day, I'm going to be operating in a calorie deficit. Not only will I be operating in a calorie deficit, I will be controlling the fat bus, aka insulin. Insulin is a growth hormone. It's a fat storage hormone. It's an appetite accelerant, and it destroys our mitochondrial health, reducing our life expectancy. Now, it's not all bad. Insulin's also our friend, because when we're elevating our blood sugar beyond normal levels, we could literally go in a diabetic coma and die if it were not for insulin regulating our blood sugar. But there's a consequence to pay when we spike our insulin levels with days that aren't perfect days. We will get into that further in coming videos. But just note, when we're having a perfect day, we're accomplishing calorie deficit so that we get rid of reserve fuel. We're accomplishing insulin control so that we're not in a growth mode. We're accomplishing adequate protein so that we preserve our metabolism and preserve our muscle. And we're accomplishing helping restore our mitochondrial health. Every perfect day is a life-changing, amazing day. And after 2 perfect days, you are getting into efficient fat-burning mode. The holiday. A holiday is a day where you licked the cheese dust off a Dorito. Yes, that's right. Don't run away. It's not as hard as it sounds. If you so much as lick the cheese dust off a dirty Dorito, we call that a holiday. Now, I know a lot of you are savvy. A lot of you that watch this really understand that licking some cheese dust is not going to cause a huge insulin spike. But remember what we're up against. At least I was. If I played with fire, I got burned by the fire. After the lick goes the crunch. After the crunch goes the entire bag. So I can't even play with fire. So if I so much as play with fire, I call it a holiday. Now, that holiday, it may be that you lick the cheese dust off a Dorito, or it may be that you didn't follow one of the components of the Shibboleth Shield that we'll be going over. It could be that you eat the entire bag of Doritos. It could be that it was your anniversary and you worked hard and now you want to play hard. There is much a part of the program as the Shibboleth Perfect Day. So what we wanted to establish in summary in this video is we have 2 types of days. There's not a third type of day. There's the perfect day that helps us get in efficient fat burning mode, otherwise known as EFB. And there's the holiday that is any deviation from what a perfect day is. Now, in coming videos, we'll dive deeper into that Bulletproof Shield that it seems magical, but it helps you burn body fat like taking a blowtorch to butter. And we'll talk about those holidays and why they're not a bad thing. And you shouldn't get discouraged or frustrated with yourself when you do have a holiday.